Evening, everyone. So here we are today going to present one of the best tool under the initiative of Abatus 2.0 that we saw previously presented by Swapnil. It is Shilpa and me who are going to present along with support from our human bot. This is a bench management tool that we have curated within, it is being completely built by our own team. We have named it as Fit Edge. I would, so Shilpa is going to play a role of a customer and I'm going to play a role of a creator who has created this tool while we are coming from the same team. But yeah, Shilpa, if you would want to talk about this.
Yeah. So I'll explain the our manual process which you're following. So basically, we initiate the RMG process by directly connecting with the employees and to understand their profile, their skills, and their interest of the area. So once we connect with the employee, for further details, we reach out to different stakeholders like HR department, tech team, or operations team to gather data like their past work history, their current process, their notice period, and their area of interest. So here the data collation takes time and it is a fragmented process. So once we gather all the data, we scan the scan the manual process of we reach out to different stakeholders and departments to know the open positions, and as per the position we evaluate the job descriptions and to check the alignment with employees' profiles. Okay, so once the profiling is done, we do the manual fitment process, wherein so here we initiate the process between the bench employees and the open positions, and the shortlisting is done on the basis of their open positions, and this is basically depends on the structured understanding and unstructured data inputs. So once fitment is done, we reach out the stakeholders to check out their availability, and once we get to know, we initiate the process of scheduling interview between the interviewer and the employee. And once the process is done, we check the manual process to get the feedback from the stakeholders and follow up with them for the further process and the next steps. So this is all about our current RMG process. So due to this manual process, the turnaround time of allocating resources is high.
With this, what did we understood? Fragmented data, too much of manual coordinations, and when it comes to fitment, subjective judgment, because somebody is dealing it manually. And because we consider this as one of the area which needs improvisation, which needs more of effectiveness, how can this Abatus 2.0 help us here? So what is important is how brilliantly can you fit these new features which have evolved, which is where we thought of why don't we explore and see what can we do here in this area. Moving on to the next slide. This is our working model. What happens? Now since the data was fragmented, I was coordinating separately with every individual team and gathering information and then doing the further analysis, looking at the fitment. We created the database by bringing the data from all different departments, created a database. Now, as we were speaking, we had been hearing from the entire day, we need a knowledge base, we need data to be there upon which we can build further. That was our step one. Moving on to the next slide. A very high level technical architecture. We do not want to be very technical about it. So what happens, what we thought about creating is, there has to be a platform which handles everything. So our entire core sits onto a PHP platform, supported by the Gen AI solution, because if I am talking about adding up these functionalities here, where I have a lot of data. When I say data, these data is not only flowing from the organization, but I am also enabling our employee who is onto the bench management to to feed in some data, which may not be available within your organization, like any needs and certification, any new skill set that I may have acquired. So, and then what happens? You have also enabled the dashboardings within this application so that you give a real-time visibility to your leadership, to people who are associated with this area. And then, of course, the initiative that we have spoken about, finally, at the end, you have a mobile level view where, since every one of us, it is very easier for us to connect to a phone and check out for anything that you would want to check rather than signing on to a laptop. So that's what the very high level architecture, but we, on the following slide, we have a little demo created for you all to just have a look at the application, the look and feel. I think we will take you through that video first, and then I'll give you further detailing about the application.
Hi, I am your WFM Speech AI assistant, and I'll be taking you through the bench management application today. This application is designed to make the entire bench process smarter, faster, and fully data-driven. Let me first share some high-level details and walk you through the demo. This is the login page of our application. The platform uses single sign-on, allowing users to access the system securely with their existing organizational credentials. This not only simplifies access, but also ensures data protection and compliance with enterprise security standards. Bench employees receive a notification to update their profile with latest skills and preferences, enabling accurate fitment, faster deployment, and full journey tracking. After admin login, users arrive at the landing page, which features a live Power BI dashboard. This dashboard provides a real-time view of bench employees, clearly displaying how many are currently on bench, deployed, or in the exit pipeline. This is the uploader page. While users have the option to upload data manually in case of any exception, the process is primarily automated. A bot is configured to upload data at regular intervals, ensuring accuracy, consistency, and saving valuable time for the team. On the AI fitment page, users can run automated fitment for any employee. The AI engine analyzes the full profile, skills, certifications, projects, and performance, and matches it with all open roles. A fitment score highlights the best matches, and if multiple options exist, the tool presents them for data-driven deployment decisions. This page shows the full bench pool, sorted by fitment score for quick identification of best matches. Users can edit details, review business fitments, and seamlessly accept and schedule interviews within the tool. Once an interview is scheduled, stakeholders receive an automated email with the employee's profile and resume. They can review details, conduct the interview, and update the outcome, selected, rejected, or on hold, directly in the tool. Until updated, reminders are sent at regular intervals to ensure timely closure. Beyond interview stakeholders, managers and recruiters can access the full bench pool using filters to find specific skills, languages, or roles. The AI-powered chatbot further streamlines searches with prompt-based profile matches, captures near fits, and can run AI fitment for select roles, making the process smarter and faster. Thank you for joining us on this walkthrough of the bench management tool. We're excited about the possibilities this platform brings, making bench management smarter, faster, and easier for everyone.
So the beautiful part about this application is it is not just limited to to the bench, the group who manages the bench employees, but with the help of creating a database and creating the layout, this is extended to a certain level of people at a management, people from a recruitment team who can access this entire database, ensuring that we give priority to people who are on bench rather than going out and onboarding people externally. These people are important, they are already with you, they understand your culture, they understand your DNA, and they can perform much better if had it been given a chance. And what is helping here, GenAI is helping here to do the fitment to the technical with the science of the model So GenAI is helping here to eliminate that subjective judgment, which otherwise if a person had it been handling it manually, now here everything is happening technically. In fact, it is giving us more accuracy, eliminating all manual interventions that earlier it had been. Plus, the person who is onto bench is struggling with every different department, doesn't know what is happening, has a real-time view about the stage at which the employee is it getting selected, rejected, on hold, are there any opportunities? And it is not just a fitment with one particular business, but everywhere, wherever there is a fitment being shown, it reflects, and we give a priority basis, the higher fitment score, align the interview, and that's how we progress. So this is about something that we have curated internally, completely homegrown within our group. That's all from us. Thank you. Any questions? We are open.
The bench management tool, does the employees on bench have a view of this?
Yes.
And if they find a fitment, they themselves can initiate that interview?
No. It's managed centrally by the team who's looking after the bench. But they have the option of upgrading their own profile in case someone is working with us for last 2-3 years, right? And we have the original resume. But then the employee would have taken some certifications, trainings. Before they actually go into profiling, they can update their information till like yesterday.
So if suppose I am an employee on bench, if I log into this tool, it will show me where all my fitment is.
Yes.
And any contacts who I can reach out to?
No. That is managed by the central team only.
Okay.
So that coordination happens internally while being online, but only those things which are ideally to be made available to an employee, we reflect those, like the details of the employee, then the status of the profile, to what stage it has reached.
And just, I don't know.
Just a quick stuff. See, the thing is, if there is no matching supplies available against the positions currently, how does it take care of it? Say, for example, as a manager, as a project manager, I'm just looking out for a person who's not available currently in the bench. How does it progress?
Then it goes for external hiring. Then it obviously moves that open requisition that we have in the system. If it doesn't match anyone's skill set within the system, it goes out for an external hiring.
One more additional aspect, sorry to cut you here, Swapnil, one more additional aspect that we have added within this application is not only update the resume, but also to update the information, like if I'm open for a relocation, having said that if there is any related profile available in any different location, because we are spread across multiple cities within India, we are outside also, and we'll love to send an employee in case if employee is ready, is comfortable moving out. So if that is the case, we don't limit it to a certain location. We are open to analyze the fitment across different locations that we have.
So 2 things we are trying to solve is, one is a human dependency on the fitment, right? We don't want anyone to be judgmental about any profile, any experience. We want that to happen through AI, which tells us against my skills, where do I fit? Very clear cut exposure of information. Secondarily, we don't want to lose out on any talent or possible upskilling talent that we might have with us today. So if you look at the fitment, right, it may say, it can also go to the language level. So if someone understands Marathi for that matter, and we have a center at Nagpur, which requires Marathi speaking candidate, if the candidate is comfortable moving from Mumbai to Nagpur, there we go. We don't have to hire externally. We have the talent internally retained. So that's what.
So you said that the evaluations happens through AI. So is it something like a technical evaluations done by them, or it is just a screening of that profile and then it's been?
No, we have some pre-fed parameters that we evaluate every profile against. The fitment score is against those rules.
But again, it varies. Depends upon the different customers, right?
Right.
So something.
Yeah.
Like
So when a fitment score comes across for me,
okay.
every process then has an evaluation criteria saying, do I fit into it or not? Right? So if my communication skills happens to be at 85% as a skill set, I would have openings in 4 operations businesses, 2 of which would require a minimum 80, I get through. The other 2 would have a criteria of 95, I don't get through. So against my skill set, the operations fitment also is taken care of.
Also, if there are any exceptions needed, because it is again scenario based, if there are any exceptions needed that certain parameters is not applicable in this context, that group who is managing that particular framework will have an option to exclude those or give exception to that parameter and rerun the fitment. So that options are there.
So probably my question is, see, this is something like the evaluation is happening based on the profile screening. Am I right? See, it's deriving that 85%, 90%. That shit is based on that. See, practically, maybe he may not be fit Okay, how does it make evaluated in that fashion?
So that's what Vandana said. So what we are trying to do is one, save time on this entire evaluation process, right? If we have 100 people on bench, we immediately know who fits on at what levels, correct? Then we know the thresholds that each operations would have in terms of their requirement. Okay, as I gave an example, communication skills. If an international business requires communication skills fitment to be above 90% of voice and accent score, and if this employee has that, it is a direct fitment, correct? In case the employee is at 90 and we find he or she is trainable, the RMG team will take over and contact the operations saying that, hey, someone is at 90, we can train that resource up to 95 and we'll still save our external hiring. Do you want to have a look? If the operation says yes, we invest into the training and the employee goes through. So that's how it is done.
Okay. That's one more question. So you said that's a frequency of keep reminders. So what is the frequency level which goes to the respective PM or?
Sure. So the moment I am scheduling a meeting, I have a word with the stakeholder that this is the profile, have a look, which I have already allocated to you, because if I'm allocating, that means the profile is going to be made accessible to the stakeholder. Now, stakeholder is responsible to conduct an interview, and that interview is being scheduled using this application. And now if I understand that the interview is going to happen at a defined time, as a stakeholder, I'm supposed to update the status of that call. Was that candidate selected?
But the frequency is 48 hours of time interval.
Yeah.
If there is no response or action, the next level of the reporting manager also is informed. There is no action taken.
Yeah.
The integration that Vandana is talking about is directly on MS Teams. So through the platform, the interview is kind of scheduled through the same platform to the interview as well as to the employee.
And the time starts after that scheduled time of the call.
Thank you.
No, it's for everyone. And that's why if you see the slide, it involves all stakeholders. It involves the employee, it involves the resource management group, it involves the recruitment group, and it involves operations as well. So everyone contributes to the talent not being lost to the market, etc.
Okay. So it's accessible by the
everyone. Yes.
Okay.
We are giving an employee interface so that they can update their most updated certifications for that matter, right? So Hexaware has a best feature that our tenuity is like more than 5 to 10 years average. Okay, so in the last 9 years, if I have achieved something which I have not updated otherwise, I still get an opportunity to update that before I am kind of let go.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, and other one is just an observation. I mean, this is something that we are also working at, is eliminating the interview part completely through. Basically it may be from an input from the hiring manager to add certain question that he would want to ask, and employee while checking his fitment can answer those questions.
Right.
So
while it's a perfect thought, but we don't want to over mechanize everything also. We want the stakeholders to have some say into whom they want to kind of onboard or whom they don't want to, right? Sometimes the profile looks good, but the conversations don't go well.
Right.
So we don't want to close that window and still give that little opportunity. But yeah, our job as a WFM and RNG team is to ensure maximum deployment of the resources that we have.
Okay. Last question. One thing about the high.
Sorry, if someone still rejects, I use my designation and say, please go on.
Of course, that push always helps. So one thing is the manager rejecting a candidate because of whatever reasons. Did we put any thought about what if employee doesn't want to take up that role, or after no scheduling interview or something like that? There's a refusal from the employee.
There's a choice.
Yes.
The employee has
There's
a choice.
Has a choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
So after the interview process happens, if the operations the operations box says selected, we still confirm with the employee if your transfer is okay, right? And the employee still at that stage can still say no. But in our experience,
I know
most of the employees who reach that stage kind of go through.
Will say yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Jay has a question.
As you have named the platform as a bench management, is it only pertinent to the people on the bench, or your overall talent?
No, for now only at bench, because over the last 1.5 years we were losing talent at a very fast rate on bench because we were not able to tap them on time. And that was specifically because of the entire turnaround time we had, is what Shilpa explained. So to arrest that, we had the tool deployed last 6 months, and we have more conversions through bench than what we had earlier. Sorry, you had a question?
Yeah. So you did mention that they can go ahead and refuse once there is a client selection or something. So how many opportunities can they refuse? Three. Suppose that, what would be the circumstance?
We refuse them. So every employee is maximum given 3 opportunities or 3 options to choose from. They either get placed in one of the 3. If not, then of course to be honest, they won't fall into the fitment if they are not at 3, right? But maximum 3 options. If they still say no, then we start the exit process for the employee.
Okay, I had one more question. Since you mentioned that these demands are open for the people who are on bench, so how this is different different for an IJP, like internal job posting, which happens, right? How this tool is different from that?
So the IJP is actually owned and coordinated through the HR's box, okay? And these people also undergo the IJP process for that matter. So the HR's box also have access to this tool where they can see who are on bench and can utilize one of the resources for any IJP opening if required. So the chatbot that you see, that access is given to HR as well as the recruitment team. They can just punch the IJP opening. So even our IJP has a AR against it, request as such. So if they have the AR number, they can find out the employee.
Okay, any specific timeline they have where they can go ahead and apply for an IJP? Like if they are selected in a project, is it that minimum 6 months or 8 months or a year that they have to be in the current project before they apply for IJP to move
It depends
on?
process to process and the requirement, but generally 6 months in the current role and the current designation.
Okay.
And just to let you know, the HR only can shortlist candidates from the available pool if it's IJP, but you have to still undergo the IJP interview process post that, right? So the tool helps HR to figure out profiles quickly if they suit the IJP that is being rolled out.
Okay.
But that doesn't ensure the IJP selection for the employee.
Oh, thank you.
I've got 2 questions and a comment. I do really appreciate that the way you guys have mechanized the tool to keep it non-biased, which is super critical, right? To not have that introduced in the ecosystem. Question 1 is from a user experience, right? If I'm on a bench, what is my experience kind of going through the ecosystem, right? Is there notifications, communications that kind of come in on some level of periodical basis? And second question is, what is the potential proactive engagement, right? So if you're you've been given a notice from one of the clients that, hey, at the end of the year, we'll be exiting, so that makes the pool of potential bench come up, and you have some demand now. Do you have an option to proactively start to engage the ecosystem?
So to answer the first question, that's the reason we kind of thought of the mobile app, right? So when a team is communicated, they're going to be on bench, which is done by the RMJ team. They are given access to the app and the link for them to kind of access that portal. Now what happens is every change in the stage of their profiling goes as a notification to the employee directly that hey, your profile has been shortlisted for this process, or your interview is scheduled with this person on this day, etc. Or a selection rejection. Every notification does go to the employee on the app as well as through email, so they kind of have the visibility. And if in case they still want to take a decision, we kind of open up it for them, saying that we are updating you on what is happening. If you're still uncomfortable, we are very happy for you to kind of look for opportunities. On the other question that you had, which I forgot, sorry, if you can just repeat right now. I'm sorry.
Proactive, right? So if you have
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. So in that case, Jay, what happens is we look for process to process fitment at the first go, because generally such instances happen in a particular practice. For example, you may have a CS client saying, I'm going to shut down by the end of the year, or you may have a healthcare client saying that, and we have enough and more processes with the same practice otherwise. So the priority is then given to these guys for the next batches that are going to be planned. So then the RMG team coordinates with the capacity planning team and saying that we have this count of people, of which 50% get to the fitment. Can you look at them in the planner? So that's where the recruitment team gets involved. Only when the selection is done do we count them or the number of people in the capacity planning batch, which is going to come up after this.
Yeah, I had a question. So when we said, the interviews are also scheduled to the app, do we also have the integration in terms of how many people have been interviewed for that particular demand and get all those data insights?
Yes. That's a dashboard that we saw on the video, right?
Okay.
So the RNG team has the visibility on the dashboard as to for each profile how many people have been shortlisted or interviewed or rejected, etc.
Okay.
So they have the view for that.
Okay, so all the reporting and analytics is derived from.
Yes. No, we'll reach out to you in some time for that.
Just a follow-up question. So when they give the feedback, right? So feedback.
There is the agents?
Yeah, the agents, when after evaluation they give you the feedback. So will that feedback be visible to the employee as well?
From a selection-rejection perspective?
Yeah, if it's a reject, for example, if it's a reject,
No, that's done.
Some reasons.
That's done over a conversation with the employee, not documented, because the next step that the employee will take is social media. It happens, right? I mean, you document something today, and the first thing people do is use that for social media. So the feedback is verbal. Rest everything is, the alerts are of course.
For selection, it does with an email notification that the selection will happen. But for rejection, yes, as Swapnil said, because that will lead to a different challenges. But what we will do is when we will go back again, correlating with AR in case if there are not multiple fitment that we have seen. In case if it is multiple, then we'll go ahead and do we'll schedule the interview with the second process.
And that's where the HR Spock then comes into picture to kind of do the exit formalities and the exit interview.
Okay. Thank you.
We wash off our hands after that. Someone rings the bell. This happens only with us, I think. Siva, you're not being fair to us, but okay. Good, thanks. Any other questions we can answer? Okay, I take that as a no. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.